Parliament, the very reason why we are here. But a short welcome address. As we heard in our parliamentary prayer, we are all encouraged to use professional language to exercise the highest levels of integrity in our dealings. And as such, I would expect the same on your part. We shall now invite the Electoral Commissioner to handle the election and approval of the Speaker of Parliament.
The chair of the House.
It's not on. It's not on.
Good afternoon to you. So we have wasted a lot of time already, so I'll just move to the business of the day. So after opening nominations for about a week, we had one person picking up form to become the Speaker of Parliament. And this is how we are going to move about selection of the Speaker of Parliament. So first of all, I'll call the person, then we'll have about 10 minutes to kind of vet the person, ask the person a few questions, and after which, when we are satisfied with that, they will move with voting. Please, the voting will only be done by executive and association president heads. All other persons will be excluded from the voting. So that's how we do it. So I would like to call on Mr. Owusu Barton Jefta, who picked forms to run for the position of Speaker. So he will tell us a little bit about himself and
the chair in the House. I'm Watson Jeff Tawusu, a fifth-year medical student of this noble university. I'm a young man that has shown interest in the welfare of students of my association and the university as a whole. Notably among these, I've been a member of numerous committees in my association, the University of Health and Allied Sciences Medical Student Association, UHAS MSc for short, and was executive for the past 2 years, once as the Deputy Health Officer and later as the main health officer. It is of note that although I haven't been an accredited member of the Parliament, my stint as an observer of this noble house, and after a year of tutelage from the Right Honorable Priscilla Free, the past Speaker of this House, I believe I'm ready and fit for the position of the Speaker of Parliament. My qualities of critical thinking and my ability to form a team are ones that are important for this Parliament. And I believe if this House votes me as the Speaker of Parliament, we shall lead into a new paradigm. Thank you very much.
thank you very much, Mr. Barton. So please, 10 minutes for questions and we'll move on. I want us to be snappy with this. If you want to ask him any questions, you have anything to do. If you want to know more about what he intends to do as Speaker of Parliament, you kindly raise your hand and I bring the mic to you.
The House. Master also, are you aware that one of the key requirements of being a Speaker of this House is one, you should know much about the parliamentary proceedings. 2, you should know much about student politics on campus. On that note, I want you to state the composition of the General Assembly to the House. Thank you.
So, according to the UHAS Constitution, that states the membership of the General Assembly. It states that the General Assembly is made up of the provincial executives, i.e. the President, the Treasurer, the Secretary, and the WUCOM, and reps from the JCRs, 2 reps from the JCRs. and the hostel president or the JCR president of the various hostels. And when you move to the part that talks about the committees, it also states that there are supposed to be the committee heads of the various committees of the General Assembly are supposed to also be members of the General Assembly. But however, there is no existent JCR in this university because there's no policy stating what procedure should be followed to get a JCR. So as one of my aims of being a speaker, I'm hoping that we push that a JCR system or a JCR policy be implemented in the UHAS SRC. Thank you very much.
Master Wilson, we've been in this school for 5 years. Are you aware General Assembly meetings have always been held? And you made mention that there's no JCR system in UHAS. On which basis are General Assembly meetings held?
So,
and are the whole president always part of the JCR, the General Assembly meetings?
Mr. President, thank you for the president. Chair in the House, sorry for not addressing earlier. Please, according to the Constitution, the JCR presidents are supposed to be chosen by an electoral college of the members of the hostel. So in some situations, we have floor reps for all hostels who can make up an electoral college. Or in certain situations, we have members of the hostel voting to get the JCR president approved. Right, but in this situation, here in UHAS, I think last year I was the de facto president for the Dabe hostel. But however, it was a de facto position because it wasn't voted for using any form of legal document. So I believe in certain situations where we have those things, these executives are supposed to be voted for by the members. But in the situation of Asobili Hall and Dabe hostel, they are just chosen de facto by the most influential people in the hostels. Thank you very much.
Speaker of the House. I would like to know if you have been to Parliament till we close. I mean, you with us and then you stay till we close. That would be the first question. And the second question is, have you also observed, if yes, have you observed sometimes who come and what would you do as a speaker to help that situation?
Thank you, Honorable Adoma, the Chair in the House. So I believe the first question was if I've been in the Parliament from the start to the close. However, I can state categorically that anytime I come for parliamentary sitting, I'm very early and on time. But however, certain members of Parliament who are supposed to be the custodians and representatives of the students are never present and are sometimes late for parliamentary sitting. Something I definitely abhor. But however, also in the standing orders, it states categorically that standing order of the Parliament that was adopted during the tenure of the Right Honorable Hellerman, may he so rest in peace, that to suspend certain members who don't follow the standing orders of the Parliament. And in situations where these offenses are egregious and are bigger than the Parliament, these things can be pushed onto the disciplinary committee for these things to be sorted out. So I can't actually say that I'm going to punish this individual, but there are certain procedures in our standing orders that states how such individuals should be dealt with. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much.
President, from start to end. Due to certain reasons, parliamentary sittings, the answer is no. But the reason being that, due to certain reasons,
Thank you.
okay, thank you very much.
One last question. Are executives entitled to any benefits? If no, what is your? If yes.
Thank you very much. So, the chair in the house. So, thank you very much, Honorable Adoma. Yes, this particular issue has been something that I actually think of every time. And according to the UHAS Constitution, not UHAS Constitution, according to a resolution by the Parliament, there is a hostel, 5-star hostel, that houses the president, the vice president, should I say the federal executives. But however, there has never been a situation where provincial executives or NUCS executives are being housed by the Parliament or the UHAS SRC. Talking about S. Gracia, I remember reading one of the documents of this Parliament during Honorable Apalu's time, where he suggested that after the tenure of office of executive members, certain executive members be paid certain amounts, right? But the House didn't accept that because they thought these things are too outrageous, and we being a young SRC, starting to pay our executives would be more of a spendthrift move in a way. So they decided that that shouldn't be done. But according to the Constitution too, the Welfare Committee chairman is in charge of everything that has to do with payments in the form of certain allowances to the members of Parliament and to the executives. So if you're asking of that, I know there's such a thing, but there's nothing like an ex gratia, but there are some forms of allowances, that like a certain allowance that's given to members of Parliament and executives during sitting. Thank you very much.
The last question, I said your take on it.
My take on that. So I believe in the fact that members of Parliament or executives in an SRC are supposed to be looking out for the welfare of the students, right? And however, I believe most of us even have classes and IAs today, because I know a number of us who have IAs today and classes, but have missed those things to be here. But I believe that as students, if we start taking allowances from the little that we have, I think during the last graduation, the UHAS population of students was around 7,700. So we are paying 100 cities for imagine paying each executive. How much money we left to take care of the students and to do with their welfare? That question is to you.
Okay, thank you. Last two, add up to. So are you going to take allowance today if you accept it? The chair, the house.
So the UHAS Constitution, however, although I'm against allowances, but there's a rule that states that certain members of Parliament or the executives be given allowances. Because I'm against LGBTQ does not necessarily mean I should go around insulting everyone who's LGBTQ, right? There's a law, if I'm in America, that supports the existence of members who are people who are gay or lesbians. I shouldn't necessarily, because I'm against that, I shouldn't be going around saying that I'm against that. There's a constitution, and the constitution is the main law of the University of Allied Sciences, SRC. So I believe that we should follow it. But however, there is a constitutional review that was scheduled for last academic year, but it wasn't done. So as part of the things that we hope to do, I hope to do at the Speaker of Parliament, is to champion that agenda of reviewing our constitution, so that if individuals like you have certain...
Will you take or you will not take?
Oh, I said I will take. But do you...
Yes, please. No, this is a follow-up question.
Yes. And when you did this, who gave you the permission to talk? Or it's automatic, sir? Can you do anything? Do that. You may proceed.
So I asked a simple question, that after our meeting, are you going to take the allowance or you will not take? Since, yeah, I think that was the question.
Yeah. Yes, so per the constitution I will. Thank you very much.
Chair the House. Master, we are supposed to have deputies. Those deputies should be elected, should be appointed.
They have that of our existence as an SRC. Yes, it states that in the composition of the leadership of the SRC Parliament, there's supposed to be a speaker. And in situations where it's demanded, we have 2 deputies, right? But those situations were, however, not explained by the Constitution. But we have the CJ here, maybe he may give us an explanation on that particular phrase. Yes, so there's supposed to be 2 deputies who are supposed to be members of Parliament. So hopefully, after the House accepts me, the members of Parliament who may be committee heads or ex officio. If I mean ex officio, I mean people who are here because of the office they hold as heads of their schools or representatives of their schools or elected executives of the SRC. Yes, so I feel that that's how it's supposed to be. That's what the Constitution states. It's supposed to be chosen from the members of Parliament. The deputies are supposed to be members of Parliament. Yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh. And the question was,
How would they be selected?
how would they be selected? For that, I don't really remember, but I know they're supposed to be members of Parliament.
The Chair of the House. Yes, it's a follow-up question on that. Final. You said they're not supposed to be members of Parliament, right? Okay. Please just tell me yes or no if whether these people are supposed to be executive committee members.
However, the Constitution doesn't state if they are supposed to be executive committee members or committee heads. That's if you can give me a part of the Constitution that states that a vice president can be a deputy speaker or any other thing.
All right. Maybe for points of clarification, the Chair of the House, sorry. I think I'll quote from the Constitution.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe from chapter 3. Okay.
Sorry, the Constitution isn't referred to as a chapter.
If I'm wrong, I'm moving for corrections.
Yes, so it's a matter of using the right terminology.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. But just to read it out, I can't give the specifications, but it goes like this. There shall be 2 deputies of SRC Parliament, nominated from among members of Parliament and elected by a simple majority of the same, provided the said member shall not be executive officers of the SRC and shall not be from the same campus. All right. So I think you are clear.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The last question.
The Chair of the House. I'm Daniel Poku Jemfi, the whole provincial SRC treasurer. I want to ask you a question. Okay, so can you tell me the reason why you want to become the speaker?
Yes, the Chair in the House. Yes, so I won't beat around the bush. I believe in as much as we are all looking for the welfare of the students' population, we are all here for our selfish reasons. Once we should understand, I have ambitions of holding public office in the nearest future. I believe and I see this opportunity as the right step for me to prepare myself for holding public office. But however, I've been a member of this university for not at least 4 years, right? And I've been a member of my association in good standing, if I'm supposed to add. But because of certain reasons, I've not been able to contribute my quota to the welfare of students. All I do is to become an observer and give my views. But the standing orders actually limits the rights or the privileges that an observer can have in the parliament. So I believe me being here and also being a de facto president of the Dave Hostel and being a champion, being someone who would like to champion the JCR system, I believe my position as a speaker will help me do that and also make the organogram of the UHAS SRC full and in full throttle. Thank you very much.
The Chair of the House. Thank you very much for asking those rigorous questions. So kindly move to the voting process. Come on. So kindly make sure that the cheat that is given to you, it's signed. Please, if it's not signed, we won't accept it. Your vote will be nulled. And it's just a simple yes or no vote. So currently we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Should I take it? Okay. So the feed is being followed live, so I'll take it. So we had 17 people participating. 11 people voted yes, and six people voted no. So we have Mr. Owusu Boatin Jefta elected as the Speaker of the Safe Parliament of the UHAS SRC. Thank you.
So, the chair in the House. So, thank you very much to all of us, and also for giving me this opportunity to become the Speaker of Parliament for the State Parliament of the UHAS SRC. Yes, I know in elections adversaries come around, but no matter what, we shall spear on and move UHAS forward. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Office of the former speaker to come and rule speaker-elect after Chief Justice swears speaker-elect in.
When I mention you mention your name, and having been elected, you mention the Speaker of Parliament. Right, so having been elected to the office of
Speaker of Parliament for the UHAS SRC.
No, so you repeat, having been elected to the office of, then you continue. So let's start again. Having been elected to the office of
the Speaker of the UHAS SRC Parliament.
Do hereby in the name of God swear.
Do hereby in the name of God swear.
That I will bear the true faith of allegiance.
That I will bear the true faith of allegiance.
To the SRC Constitution.
To the SRC Constitution.
And uphold. Preserve. Protect. And defend the SRC Constitution. And expose with faithful zeal. Any act. Commission. Or omission. Or any other matter. That would undermine. The said SRC Constitution. So help me God. You ask SRC Parliament, your Speaker of Parliament.
Mr. Speaker, let's take a seat now. Great. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson, Mr. President, and thank you, Mr. Speaker of the State Parliaments of the UHAS SRC. I'm here on behalf of Dr. Speaker, the outgone Speaker, for the fifth of the UHAS SRC, and in person of the first Deputy Speaker of the Fifth Parliament, I am honored to stand in the new Speaker of Parliament, and congratulations once again for being elected to this position of the SRC. And I do pray and hope that you will put your best to lead this parliament in the right direction by making sound, presiding decisions in this. And congratulations, Dr. Speaker. She wished she could have been here, but there are other competing agendas as well. So I would just like to say a few words from one leadership of Parliament to another leadership of Parliament with some of the things we observed. I would like us to go through some of the standing orders, especially when it comes to contribution on the floor of Parliament. Some things have been corrected earlier, and some as also were let go of. But I believe at this point, all elected officials and those who would be approved later on knows that to make contributions on the floor of Parliament, you must rise on the point of information. And with the point of information, that's when you just want to make a statement or you would like to ask a question to any member of the House or any person making presentation to the House. And with that, you raise your right index finger. So with this, then you put it under your palm. So like this. So that means you are rising on the point of information. And with this, until you are called on by the Speaker of Parliament, until then, before you could rise and make your contribution. Then the next is also the point of correction. So with the point of correction, which is similar to the point of information, you use your index finger and the middle finger, both of them under your left palm. And with the point of correction, you are trying to make a correction to a statement being made or a statement that you made which is being misconstrued by another member. Then with the point of order, and with the point of order, you take your fist like this and put it under the other palm. So like this. So with the point of order, that's when someone is traveling outside the scope of the motion being discussed, or one member is using an abusive language or not a professional language, which I believe Mr. Chairperson touched on earlier. Then when a person is on the floor and is infringing upon the Constitution or standing orders. And with the point of order, when a member of Parliament rises on the point of order, whatever contribution that is being made shall cease, and that point of order be made known to the House, and the appropriate actions will be taken to resolve the order which is the person is being called to. And one other thing which I would like to touch on is attire to parliamentary seating. So with respect to the Parliament, the leadership of the Parliament, and all other honorable members of the Parliament, every individual presenting him or herself for parliamentary duties is supposed to come in well-dressed official or traditional regalia. And Mr. Speaker, I believe you know you have the power to sanction anyone who presents themselves in any form of dressing which is not prescribed by the Constitution. And few other things I would like to touch on is when speaking on the floor of Parliament, you kindly introduce yourself. I believe we know how you call on the House responds. Then you introduce yourself, your name, and your portfolio in the House to be recognized. Then you proceed. And with all due respect to the leadership of the Parliament and the Parliament as a whole, you kindly be on your feet as you make your contribution, because we are in an august House. And these are a few things I would like to touch on, and I believe as new members of Parliament, you will do well and learn a lot and contribute to the growth of this Parliament and the UHAS SRC in general. Thank you very much. And once again, congratulations, Mr. Speaker. Okay. Sorry. So, Mr. Speaker, if I may ask you to stand for us. So, I'm asking Mr. Speaker to stand because with the robe that Mr. Speaker is donning right now is a contribution from the outgone leadership of the 5th SRC Parliament. So we took it upon ourselves to refurbish the gown to the leadership of Parliament, including Mr. Speaker is actually wearing right now, the gown of the Chief Justice and the gown of the Clerk of Parliament and the Deputy Clerk of Parliament. So, dear House, I present to you a newly refurbished gown. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, honorable members. Like I said earlier, I'm very grateful for this opportunity to chair this August House. But however, standard that we are supposed to be following. And I expect that, or it's expected that each and every one of us follows these standing orders so that we are not found wanting when it comes to the dealings of the Parliament. Please, I think I saw honorable member. Mr. President.
Mr. Speaker of the House, my name is Rujaman Skoludrot. I'm the Federal Association President. I am writing on the point of information to kindly ask Mr. Speaker for permission for myself, Federal Treasurer, and a few other people at some form of refreshments for those who are gathered here. We made arrangements, but unfortunately, we've not been able to go and pick that up. So we'd like to get that set up so that when we go on recess, there's no delay.
Sorry, please, do you need all these people to set that up?
To be very honest, I need Federal Treasurer and Mr. Eric Andrew. There are a lot of things, so we need.
I also believe
The next item that people from the chair. So I think I see Mr. Eric saying that. How do you know about that? Mr. Eric Mr. Spain, then come back after
you are done.
Mr. Speaker, then let me just proceed with Federal Treasurer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Since it doesn't actually affect the activities of the other.
So, please, are you moving a motion or? I believe you are doing the right one. So, we don't move the motion. Yes, honorable member.
The Speaker of the House, I think we have already accepted.
Correction. I think we then move on to the next agenda. So, according to the UHAS Constitution, and please pardon me, I'm very particular about certain things, about the Constitution and all that. So, I will always go back and refer so that we know what part of the Constitution we are dealing with. So, according to the UHAS Constitution, Article 6, Clause 1, Subclause Clause C. So reading from the Clause 1. There shall be an SRC Parliament which shall comprise the chairperson of all committees and commissions, except the chairperson of the Judicial Committee, who shall attend SRC parliamentary meetings on special occasions as may be specified by this Constitution or resolution by the SRC Parliament, and subcommittees formed under this constitution. So in pursuance of this part of our constitution, a list has been submitted by the executive committee. So I believe I will have to call them here one by one, just as they did for me. We do a short vet, or in a way cross-examination of them, so that at least we know if they are capable of the positions that they have been nominated for. So please, honorable members, hello, any?
Of the Constitution, I am an executive committee member, and you stating that a list has been submitted to you by an executive committee. I wasn't consulted, and for that matter, I don't think that statement is right. So, and I for that item before you.
easier, we make it subclause. So we have the chapter, and then from the chapter we have the article. From the article we have the clause, and from the clause we have the subclause. Or you can better still go with subsection. So chapter 4. So you can, for example, you have chapter 4, article 16, clause 1, subsection A, or chapter 4, article 16, clause 1, subclause A. Are we okay? All right, thank you. All right. Yeah, that's common practice that's done everywhere. So it's either a subclause or a subsection. Anyone that you want to refer to paints the same idea. So anyone that you refer to is okay. No, not assumptions. If you look at the Constitution of Ghana, if you are reading this Constitution is also under the jurisdiction of the Constitution of Ghana. So it models what is in the Constitution of Ghana. And so if subclause is adopted by the Constitution of Ghana, that is not an assumption that we are adopting subclause in the SRC Parliament. So this is not based on an assumption.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Yes. Any other submission? Yes, so in order to yes. I was about to put the motion that according to chapter article 30 clause 1 of the UHAS SRC Constitution. Shall in consultation with members of the executive and with the approval of the who shall be the principal legal advisor of the SRC, and who shall have spent at least 1 year in the university. So, as an executive officer, I have not been consulted, and on that note, I move a motion that this aspect of the schedule for the order of the House should be moved to a different chapter. Yes, I move a motion that the aspect of the approval of the committee chairpersons was illegal or unconstitutional since the executive committee were not consulted.
But
yes, please.
I believe the part of the constitution that you stated was talking about legal advices, not committee chairs. Please read it well.
No.
Yes.
I take that part again. It says the federal executive officers shall in consultation with other members of the executive council and with the approval of the SRC Parliament appoint the advisor and other committee chairpersons, in short. So the executive committee were not consulted, and on that note, I move a motion that this aspect of the order of the House cannot be held. I mean, it should be postponed.
I believe we also accepted the order paper as the working constitution, so the working paper for this August House.
Yes. So that is why we allow that section to come in.
That
for you to open the section that we now move to the third section, which is approval of committee chairpersons. Yes.
I also believe earlier,
yes.
Honorable Bright also stated that we do something about the order paper, which was later rebutted by our dear Honorable Adoma, that we've already accepted our order paper, and hence nothing can be changed about this.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think you are discussing.
Yes.
I didn't say anything like that. I think we are following the order paper.
Yes, please.
And the third agenda on the order paper is approval of committee chairpersons.
Mm-hmm.
Here we have already started with the process, and he's saying we can't continue with the process. Are you getting?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Parts I said and parts is also saying.
Please come again.
Okay. His was that we shift one of the agendas down. That was what Destiny said. But here we have started with the agenda, and he is saying because it is unconstitutional, we cannot continue with where we have gotten to.
I believe we. Where is? Okay. So later, I think we also invited. We also invited the speaker of the HTU Parliament, who's around. So later, I think we can go over that, and we even have Honorable Wits here. please, can you help us with this particular situation? Yes, I'm coming. Honorable Wits. You, okay. Yeah. Yes.
And let me just state what I think is going on today, right? So I believe the Honorable Vice President is asking for all. Are we all what? There are two. So one is for one component to be shifted to AOB, and the other is for one component to be struck out. Is that it? I'm a bit torn because I believe with the acceptance of the order paper, it becomes difficult to now trash the entire aspect of the order paper. This could have been attention could have been drawn to it at that point where the order paper was being accepted. So I think maybe the CJ could be the best person to give interpretation on this.
So let me make a clarification.
Yes, please.
So let me make a clarification here from what the honorable member read, right? So let me read it again. This is English and we understand it very well. The federal executive officers shall, in consultation with other members of the executive committee, didn't see all the members of the executive committee. So the fact that you were not consulted doesn't mean that every other person was not consulted. Have you found that out? Have you found that out that every other person was not consulted? All right.
Hello, please. I didn't get your answer. He put a question to you.
Yes. Because that would also be unconstitutional to nullify that whole section of the order paper just because you were the only person that was not consulted.
Hello, yes.
The church house.
Yeah.
I think what we have to do here is to seek the consent of our members here. If they were consulted, which
Yes.
was our honorable member, Francis.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Mr. CJ, can you please go back to Constitution and give us the people that make up the executive committee so that at least we know what we are dealing with?
Okay, so chapter 4, article 16, clause 1, subclause A, there shall be an executive committee consisting of the federal and provincial executive officers as provided in article 18 and 25. Presidents of JCR, hostels or blocks, the president of the Grasser University of Health and Allied Sciences, a permanent representation from each faculty, school or college represented in the General Assembly, and the legal advisor to the SRC.
Please, are we okay now? So, can I get it? Please, can I get it that none of...
So let me continue.
Yes, please.
For the B, for avoidance of doubt, the representatives of schools, faculties and colleges at the General Assembly shall not be eligible to serve on executive committee. C, the other members of the executive committee shall assist and counsel the executive officers in the performance of their duties with the executive officers see to the implementation of the decisions of the SRC Parliament and General Assemblies. The quorum for the executive committee meeting shall be 9 executive committee members, including the federal president or his vice president. The executive committee shall, in the exercise of its functions, have the power to issue executive instruments in accordance with the provisions of this constitution concerning the activities of the SRC. 5A. The executive committee shall, in times of emergency, have powers to act promptly without prejudice to any provision of this constitution, provided that the SRC Parliament shall, where this university is on vacation, within 3 days of reopening at an emergency, or within 3 days where this university is in session, be informed of the use of such emergency powers. Should I continue?
Yes, please. I think they need that. Let's give us the full scope of the whole thing so that at least we can make a decision on that.
Okay. So 5B, The SRC Parliament shall, upon receiving the said facts and circumstances pertaining to the said emergency, review the decision and make appropriate resolution for the continuance or otherwise of the said emergency action. The Executive Committee shall formulate policies of the SRC and refer same to the SRC Parliament for consideration. No policy so formulated shall be valid without the approval of the SRC Parliament. 7. The SRC Federal Secretary shall inform the Clerk of SRC Parliament of all such policies and of the agenda for the SRC parliamentary meetings. 8. The Executive Committee member annual meeting of the SRC Parliament, the Executive Committee oath set out in the 4th schedule of the Constitution.
Okay. Please, can you give us something on the committees of the General Assembly so that we have the full scope? Because we are talking about committees here.
I think that's of the General Assembly.
Committees of the General Assembly, because the whole conversation is about who is electing who and all that. I think Article 62 gives us more clarification. Hello? Yes?
I think if you see this as a point
correction. Correction. Yes, please.
So you have to correct it first before you continue.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, please.
So you have seen that.
So your point of correction. So it wasn't your point of correction. Thank you very much. Honorable member.
So my point of correction was when you started going to the General Assembly. We are not talking of General Assembly as we are here. We are only talking about the Executive Committee.
Yes.
The position of the Executive
Committee.
And you read it clearly that the Executive Committee there shall be an Executive Committee consisting of the federal and provincial executive officers as provided for in Article 18 and 25. And Article 18 clearly talks about the federal executive officers, which is the President, the Secretary, Treasurer, WOPOM, and the Vice President.
Yes, please.
And 25 talks about the provincial executives, which comprises of the President, Secretary, Treasurer, Women's Commissioner. Good. So let's continue with that same, article clause 1 sub-clause A. The President of the JCR, Hostel or Block, the President of Krasak University of Health and Allied Sciences, a permanent representative from each faculty, school and college represented in the General Assembly, and the legal advisor to the SRC. So as it stands now, the Executive Committee, according to this schedule of the Constitution, according to this schedule of the Constitution, is the federal executive officers and the provincial executive officers. In addition to the four reps of JCR, which earlier stated that we don't have the system here. Thank you.
Yes, please. So your point again is not clear. Can you go back?
What is not clear about it?
That you stated the members of the executive committee, which you stated, right? Thank you very much. So your motion?
My motion is the appointment of the committee heads is in violation.
I can say it right.
Yes.
It's in violation to to chapter 4, article 30, clause 1, sub-clause A of the Constitution. And for that matter, we should not proceed with the approval of the Constitution.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So that's the motion.
Yes,
anyone to second? That's not how we second. Please, your motion wasn't filed in the right way. Yes, when you want to file a motion, you stand up and you say, by the clerk's own time, I, this, Mr. This, that, rise to, then you state your motion. Then the next person does that. Okay, so please, let's go again.
Can you take that again?
Yes, so when you want to if there's a motion to be suggested, right? The right way to do it is to go by the clerk's own time, because she will have to time it. Yes, the clerk's own time. I, Mr. This. You state your portfolio. If you have any, then you state your motion, right? Then you go. Then you have another person seconding. So that's the right way. Thank you very much.
The Speaker of the House. I, Francis Jude, by the clerk's own time, move a motion that the approval of the committee chairpersons should be nullified on the basis that it violates Chapter 4, Clause 30, Subclause 1A of the UHAS SRC Constitution. Thank you.
Seconded by Eric Hefley, Ohwe Local News President.
That's not how we second. Please go again.
So I, Eric Hefley, then Ohwe Looks President, second the motion.
I remember.
I believe we all know that all procedural motions have to be
Written down.
So I don't know why procedural motions are just being spilled to the House. So if we are doing the right thing, I suggest we all do the best thing, write the
Procedural motion.
Secondly, I also think that this is a challenge of the Constitution, and you have the federal executive. So before it moves to a voice vote from maybe a civil ballot, you have to at least give them the chance to question them whether they actually consulted some members of the executive before.
Honourable Member. Mr. President.
Regarding the issue in question, if we look at the constitutional requirement, it says that the executive officers in consultation with other members, there is no definite number. It is not all members, it is other members shall appoint through Parliament these committee heads. And if
A point of correction. Point of correction. Yes.
I think, Speaker of the House, if you want to interpret the law, the Chief Justice here, and I'm not going to say this again, he has the sole responsibility to interpret the law.
I think he has already given clarification on that. I think what he's doing now is to make reference to the interpretation made by the Honorable Chief Justice. Yes, please. And please, I would like that in the movement of this, I know things are heated. Hello. Things are heated, but I would like all of us to put aside our sentiments and our emotions.
Yes.
Remember, your egos are not going to be massaged in this house. No one is above this house. This house is the largest decision-making body of this SRC. So if you have any egos to be massaged, any sentiments to express, keep it in your head. We are only making objective reasoning here. Thank you very much. Honourable Member, shall we move on?
So I did not mean to interpret the Constitution in any way. I am trying to give the logic behind appointments, that the list of nominees that are submitted. According to the constitutional provision, that was in consultation with other members. If I am not lying, Honorable Luke's President of Full Campus himself submitted certain names to me. That alone, for me, is not consultation. We should, for me, I think that the main point in whatever the constitutional provision is that the executive officers shall appoint in consultation with. So the fact that we consult with you and you give us your opinions and we hear them does not necessarily mean that implementing your exact opinions is what validates the process. And so that is the reasoning behind the appointments that we've done. If that is the case, then I do not see why the provincial executives can also write letters of appointment and appoint various people for their general assemblies, just like that. Because they also were consulted. Thank you very much.
President submission. Mr. President.
The Speaker of the House.
Yeah.
Yes. The point. Equally discussed there. Thank you very much.
Okay. So, what do we do now? So, please, if you have any procedural motion that will change anything we have here, please do it in writing. and submit it to our General Secretary here, so that she reads it out to the House. Please, we need a seconder for that one too. And please, if you have a counter motion to that one too, you can also do that one. She read it so that the House decides on which motion to follow for this meeting. Thank you very much. Order in the House. Remember.
Mr. Speaker of the House, I'd like to notify the House that I've submitted a counter argument to the back, and that I would like to ask permission for a few minutes to once again facilitate some refreshment argument.
Okay. Madam Secretary, can you please help us to read out the motions? Order in the House. Please, the microphone. And please, to the honorable members in the House, once you are on the floor speaking, please ask for the microphone, because this meeting is being streamed live on YouTube. So let's do our brothers from UHAS Base TV some good. Please, can you speak louder?
Francis Dute, the provincial SRC president, who moves a motion that the approval of committee chairpersons should be stopped on the basis that the appointment violates Chapter 4, Article 30, Subclause 1 of the UHAS SRC Constitution. Signed by Francis Dute and seconded by a counter motion. I, Federal SRC President, move for proceedings with the approval and swearing of the committee heads, seeing as at how the Constitution has not been breached and some members of the executive committee were consulted. Thank you.
Remember, please, before we go to voting on the motion, I think our brother, please, does it have something to do with this? I remember. Yeah. Please, can you get the microphone? We have only one. Leave it. Please, your name.
She made mention of appointment by the order. Just in plain English, we are not appointing committee chairperson here. We are approving. So that language he used over there is totally out of order.
Yeah.
This is a motion I'm filing. And in the motion, appointment letters has already been issued. Appointment letters has already been issued. I'm moving a motion that the approval, not the appointment. And I have the approval on the paper, not the appointment. Thank you.
Are you okay? Please, do you have that there? Like, please.
State appointment.
Please read it again.
I, Francis Jute, the provincial secretary, the provincial SRC president, moves a motion that the approval of committee chairperson should be stopped on the basis that the appointment violates Chapter 4, Article 30, Clause 1 of the SRC Constitution.
Please, I think since this has to do with the Constitution and all that, you stated the Constitution, right? A part of the Constitution. And the federal executives also stated a part of the Constitution that they think is being followed. So, Chief Justice, I think another motion. I think we have a third motion on the floor. Please, Honorable Speaker. Yes, please, can you give me the microphone?
The chair in the house.
Yeah, please, can you speak louder?
In the person of Dr. Fupejita Abner. So, initially I didn't
Honorable,
want to
please, can you move forward? So
initially I didn't want to talk because maybe someone would think this is not my house. But then it looks like our honorable member is taking the house back. So you are saying that the motion you moved is to not approve the committee members that the president has appointed. On what grounds? Because I'm trying to understand.
Point of order, yes. Yes.
I would want to know on which authority is the honorable member standing talking.
Yeah, please, she's an observer. She's an observer. And was, I think, the chair of the house earlier wrote certain letters inviting certain individuals, including our CJ and our honorable member from the STU SRC, who is the speaker at STU SRC. And I believe since she is a speaker there, she has some form of, that's to the house. Anyway, if the house decides that this honorable speaker, yes, point of order. Yes. She's not filing a motion.
Just trying to explain what he said.
Observers have some power in
the house.
Secondly, I'm trying to find from the Constitution. When I find it, I'm going to clarify. Observers can make submissions in the Parliament House, but cannot be voted in the Parliament. And so once it's not can't be.
Point of order. Point of correction, right?
I am not the Speaker of the House.
Yes, please.
I am not denying the fact that observers can make submissions in the House. But must be seconded by not less than 5.
No, that's a motion. Please, let's get our facts right. Please, honorable member, let's get our facts right. Thank you very much. Please, I think we have another observer. Please, are you done? Madam Speaker, please, move on.
So what I was saying is, it looks like our honorable member is ignoring what your constitution is saying. I read, the federal executive officer shall, in consultation with other members of the executive committee, with the approval of the SRC Parliament, appoint these committee members. And it looks like what the Honorable Roger said means he gave him a list of like people he thinks will be able to fill that chair. And it looks like, it also looks like he didn't go with such names. That doesn't mean he didn't consult you. So the motion that you moved, you don't even have the right to move such a motion. I hope you understand.
Yeah.
Point of correction.
Yes, please. Wait for the microphone. Order in the house. Please. Please wait. The next time I see anyone making any move without my permission, you'll be moved out of the house. Be it a member of the house or just an observer. Let's take notes. This is not a marketplace. Thank you very much. Yes.
The Speaker of the House. Yes, it is on record that I did not submit any name to Honorable Roger, and for that matter, I deem it appropriate for the Honorable member to retract the statement he made that I submitted names to Honorable Roger, and because my names didn't reflect in the appointment, that's why I'm against it. No one is against it. We just want the right thing to be done. Thank you very much.
Yes, please, is it this way? I think it's in. Let's go. Honorable member. Yeah.
What's on the order paper is approval of the committee chairpersons. So what is going to happen per proceedings of parliament is these nominated persons are going to be vetted, then approved by the votes of the members of parliament. So if the honorable member has a problem with it, then you do not go ahead with it. So this cannot stop the proceedings of parliament. That's what I would like to submit.
Please, honorable member. Honorable Chair.
Right Honorable Speaker in the House.
Honorable member.
I am Adu Emmanuel Etua, NAMSA President. Sir, I believe honorable member here has moved a motion, and we have an order or a procedure in moving a motion. If he has moved his motion, he needs to justify the motion. So he needs to be given the floor to justify the motion. Then you send the motion for us to debate on it for or against the motion. So I believe to cut in short, we need to follow the order stated in the Constitution. Thank you very much.
The order stated in the Constitution, as in we debate on.
They should be given the floor to justify why they moved that motion.
Okay.
Yes.
Please, I have an observer. Please introduce yourself and.
The Speaker of the House.
My
Kelvin Tansen, and I was part of the 5th Parliament. Now, in reading the Constitution, consultation doesn't mean consent. That's the first thing we should note. Number 2, the executive committee, which comprises of the provincial members, are supposed to be consulted. Agreed. Now, when you bring it to Parliament, the submitted list of, let's say, prospected committee heads are going to be vetted. And they are going to be vetted by the same committee members which are part of the executive committee, which includes the honorable member. So if you are in Parliament and then you are going to be part of those that are going to vet
and vote for whether we should approve the committee yes or not, it is also a form of consultation, because you can either vote yes or no, whether you are consulted or not. But mind you, consultation is not consent. The executive officers, that is the president, vice president, who come, and then the federal secretary, have no mandatory obligation to actually say that because you said you don't want this person, we are not going to push this person. It is just a consultation, not consent. And then two, okay.
No, I think, yes. So please define your version of consultation.
So
yes. Inform. Your word is inform.
We are not saying. I don't think the issue here is they are.
I have this.
But at least acknowledging the fact that you have there's a process process. That is all I think. Yes.
Point of order. Point of order.
So I'd like to throw a few questions to the House. So first of all, did you see the list before today? Okay. Secondly, I believe that if it's clearly stated here that the federal executive officers shall, in consultation with other members of the executive committee and with approval of the SRC Parliament, it presumes that the first thing is supposed to be done internally before it comes to Parliament. You don't come and settle your internal issues in Parliament. It means that once you forfeit that internal mandate to settle your issues, it's now out of the reach of Parliament to now be settling your issues for you. So you knew that on the first parliamentary sitting, you are going to approve parliamentarians. I think you saw the order paper, right? You saw the order paper before Parliament, and you saw approval of committee chairpersons. So you are supposed to demand a list. You are supposed to ask, how did they get the committee chairpersons? If you are not able to settle that internally as an executive committee, then it's out of the reach of Parliament to bring that issue to come and be settled in Parliament. So that is a failure on your side that you have to deal with as an executive committee. Once it's now here and the order paper has been accepted, Parliament will have to move on with what Parliament has. So whether you were consulted or not, that shouldn't be a debate in Parliament.
Another question. Yes, I remember. Yeah.
Yes. Parliament is the highest decision-making body of the SRC.
Yes, please.
On whichever, as you stated, it is not stated in the Constitution that internal issues, if not settled internally, cannot be presented in Parliament.
I believe, yes, please, I believe, however, that in situations where there is a breach in the Constitution, the Parliament is not the place to challenge a breach in the Constitution. There is the CJ. So you have the right to follow constitutional procedure. If you are talking about procedure, you follow constitutional procedure, right to the CJ. We have a sitting of the Judicial Committee. Then we decide on that. Please, are we okay? Are we okay? Can we continue with that? We can vote on the motion. Please, I believe the explanation honorable member gave here has nullified every motion. That's please. We have everyone here. You don't think it has nullified? So we should vote on the two motions. Remember, once you vote on the two motions, and we have any of the two happening, we will have to go by what the Constitution says. We won't have to clear everything. We are voting on the two motions. One is that we disapprove read the motion again. A third motion. There's a third motion here. Before I continue. Honourable Member, Minority Leader for STU, SRC Parliament. You're welcome.
Secretary, I believe. Looking at your constitution, and I'm glad the SRC Chief Justice has interpreted it many times. It is saying in consultation doesn't mean your like by force. Your opinion should be taken. When you look at
Point of correction. Please, you've spoken, so I have to call Master Daniel, Honorable Daniel.
Yeah, I'm in the person of Poku Jemfi, whole province treasurer. I think we are not getting these things right. What my president is saying is that according to the constitution, I'm reading it again. According to the constitution.
That's our Honorable CJ interpreted.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
The federal executive shall.
And please, how do you explain shall in your own words so that at least we know where you're going to? Explain your shall. Is it a must or I shall do it? Is it a must? You shall brush your teeth.
Yes, you have to.
Yes, please.
Okay, so the federal executive officers shall, in consultation with other members of the executive committee, and then we have in the constitution the composition of the executive committee, of which the provincial executives are part. And then normal English, let's go to Oxford Dictionary. The meaning on consultation. According to Oxford Dictionary, the act of discussing something with someone or with a group of people before making a decision. We are not saying that, we are not talking about consent. Discussion, at least you should have informed us, but no one was informed.
Please,
that's consultation, please.
Please finish.
Okay.
So we'll come back to you. I remember.
We weren't consulted. That's what we are saying. So therefore, this approval shouldn't be done. That's what we are saying.
Yes, and I hope we also know that according to Article 62, committee chairperson are supposed to be approved, right? If you are following the constitution, please let's all read Article 62 so that if we get the whole scope. Because if we don't do that, then I don't see the reason why we are even having a parliamentary system in the first place. Thank you very much. Honorable member. Please let's do what you read 62. Okay? Please, I'll come back. Please, honorable member, I'll come back to you. Okay?
I think since we are all using common sense, I think that since an appeal.
Point of order. Yeah. Yes, please. Please, retract your words, please.
I retract my statement. Honorable the Speaker of the House,
yes,
Roger Max Collutrot, Federal SRC President. Provincial Treasurer made an appeal to common sense, which was exactly the same thing I was trying to make. So I apologize to Honorable Frederick if perhaps he misunderstood me. I was talking about the appeal to common sense. And I was saying that if we are appealing to common sense, then it stands that as long as some of the federal officers have been approached by the same members of the executive committee whose opinions we should get from consultation. Excuse me. I'm saying that if we are supposed to consult with the executive committee, which is made up of officers who have already had certain discussions with federal officers, then I believe that consultation has already been done. Because it is not like it occurred in a vacuum. Once there has been communication there, consultation has occurred. And we put the list of what to do during the first parliamentary sitting on a general page. If anybody had any concerns, questions whatsoever, they could have consulted the federal officers. So it's not like we did it in
point of correction, please. Yeah.
Yes, so I want to point to honorable member that the constitution says that the federal executive officers, and for that matter, per my understanding of the constitution, if I make it wrong, I stand to be corrected. The federal executive officers is a body. The provincial executive officers is a body. And for that matter, consultations cannot only be done internally with the federal executive officers without consultation.
And please, did you raise any issues like that? I want to be sure. Because I'm sure you have a page. Don't you? You have a page, right? Yeah, we do. Yes, and did anyone raise such issues? Because I believe there's a lot of things we need to do here. But your internal strides are pulling that back. Please, if there's anything, I believe we should move on with, I'm not influencing anything here, but I believe, point of correction.
I think you are not setting the context.
I'm not hearing you, honorable member. Did you have corona? Or is there a particular reason why you're wearing it? Please, can you give us the particular reason you're wearing that? What reason? From COVID-19. Thank you very much. So let's move.
Can move away from just point 3 and move on with any other agenda.
I hope you know everything here is subject to what we do point 3.
Yeah.
That's why we are staying there. Approval of the budget is supposed to be made by a quorum made up of the speaker, the president or the vice president, and any other 17 members of the house. And right now, I'm sure we are not enough 17 here. Please count yourself for me. A head count.
I think when they did the vote, you saw the number of people who voted for you.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Yes, please. But that's how things are done. So if you had a reason with that, I believe that's what we have. Point of order, please.
All right. So Speaker of the House, I still stand on the fact that they failed to settle their internal issues. As initial parliamentarians, they failed to ensure that they made their right work to be done. And I also think it's unfair to not question this and allow people who you've appointed to be committee executive or committee heads to come here and tell them that you are not going to approve them or not. So I believe that we should move past this debate without any back and forth and move to the approval because they failed, and that should be the consequence of their failure, so that it will set a precedent that if something is put on the parliamentary page from now onwards, they are most likely going to pay attention critically to whatever thing that is done. And so from the stance of the Chief Justice, my judicial opinion is to annul every motion that has been given to the Speaker of Parliament and move on with everything that's on the other page.
The CJ? Yes. Or the Constitution? Yes. Lovely. Let's go. Okay, let's go. Yes. Hello, remember. Yes.
The Speaker.
Yes. Yes. But when it comes to things to the
suggesting.
This particular Constitution says that he's in charge of that.
Oh, should I say that? Speaker of the House. Yes, so I so admit that the CJ is the legal advisor of the House.
Legal advisor?
The CJ is supposed to give, a legal, what do you call it, interpretation of the Constitution. I admit that. But our issue here is none of us, or me raising that motion, I don't have any internal issue with them. The only thing we seek to achieve is the right thing should be done right now, even as we are about starting. We only seek for the right thing to be done.
Okay, so the right thing to be done, from your own words, you cannot settle your internal issues in Parliament. So that's the right thing to be done. When you go, you can go and settle your internal issues as to why you were not consulted. Let's move with the parliamentary discussion. That's the right thing to do, right?
Thank you very much. So I believe you agree with what the CJ said. Thank you. So if you have any issues, when the time comes for you to vote for the said committee head, to vote no. Yes. Yes, because it's a yes or no. So if you think you don't want Mr. Cow as your...
And that, you vote him no. Did you get that? Thank you very much. So moving on. So in pursuance of our constitution, I'm going to list these particular individuals to come out, and also before I do that, the constitution also allows that certain ad hoc committees be created, right? Yes, so there are a number here that I will read out and give the reasons why the executive officers are saying we should have these ad hoc committees. Are you okay? Yes. So all ad hoc committees proposed to be created for this administration are in effect committees that have already been established by resolutions of previous parliaments. Do you get that? Foreign Affairs and Exchange, to liaise with external bodies and the Office of the Internal Programs and appropriately handle all matters relating to collaboration between SRC and other such parties. Health and Sanitation Committee, to liaise with various stakeholders such as cleaners, JCI president, and association heads to ensure that all health and sanitation of students are at their best. Sandwich, to liaise with the executive committee and the parliament to channel the concerns of the sandwich populace. Transport, to liaise with transport committee of the school to ensure all matters pertaining to transport that directly or indirectly affects the student populace are properly handled. Organizing committee, to liaise with the programs and projects committee to ensure venues of all events and programs are appropriately set up with regards to decorations and other items. 2, to ensure the parliamentary sitting and all other meetings occur smoothly with regards to the venue preparation, decoration and other related items. Publicity, to liaise with the public affairs. Yes.
Speaker of the House.
Yeah.
With the interpretation CJ brought.
Yes, please.
I would like it to be documented.
Yes.
That if Parliament fails to settle their internal issues, and it comes to Parliament, it is.
If the Parliament fails to
settle their internal.
Please, the issue is not Parliament.
If executive committee.
Yes, please.
Settle their internal issues. And it comes to Parliament. It is no more debate happening.
And please, there is support. I want to please wait. About the Constitution, I would like to put it to order, or in fact correct you. So according to the Constitution, right, there's supposed to be an arbitration committee that has to do with all that. Right now, I think we have an internal strife in your executive committee. But as it stands now, there's no arbitration committee to deal with that. So the next person we move to is the CJ, who is here. Please do get me. According to the Constitution, the next person to move to, if you have any form of strife in the executive committee, is who? The arbitration committee. But as it stands now, this house is against the approval. Certain members of this house are against the approval of an arbitration committee, of a committee head. So I believe what we are saying does not. Please do get me. Please, I think we're calling to order.
So, if you think you won't go to the arbitration committee, or you can't see the legal advisor, but you want to settle your internal issues in Parliament, you can put it on the order paper and come and debate it in Parliament. Once it's not on the order paper, you can't come and waste the Parliament's time. So if you want to settle your internal issues, you can give it to the Speaker of Parliament or the clerk. One item on the order paper, we want to settle our internal issues as executive committees. When we come and we get to that item, then I think the Speaker will give you the chance to settle your issue. And once it's not on the order paper, you can't do it. So the submission here is not that we can never settle your internal issues in Parliament. There is a nuance in the submission. The nuance is that once it's not on the order paper, you cannot waste the Parliament's time. And that's what is done in standard practice.
And it's even
everywhere.
Please, in addition to that, it's even in the standing orders of the UHAS SRC Parliament, which I believe all of you have access to. Please, do you have access to the UHAS SRC Parliament standing orders? Yes. And I hope you all read that. And we all know the proceedings of the Parliament. I remember, point of correction. You signaled for a point of correction. Yes, I was speaking, so was I supposed to stop for you to give your to make known your grievances? Please, I believe this is gross disrespect of the House. Please be careful. Because I was speaking, and as head of the House, I believe I have the mandatory right to finish speaking before addressing any other thing. I hope you get me. Honorable member.
Have I said something, Honorable?
But you said you placed your hand down because I was speaking, and I give you that opportunity to talk. Yes, please. And I was speaking, and you put your hand down. Then I asked again, and you said no. You shake your head. You shook your head, sorry.
I shook my head and I said something.
Okay, so please, let's continue. And please, gestures are very important too in communication, right? But gestures are important. I hope you believe that. We have 3 types of communication. I hope you all the com skills. Yes, please. What information?
The Speaker of the House.
Yeah.
In as much as I may not be a citizen, I will advise that we proceed this, and then also to err on the side of caution. That we cannot settle issues. That's all. The Speaker of the House. I'm advising, in as much as that if we proceed with this thing, we should also err on the side of caution, not to implement anything that will be a bad precedent to the House. We should err on the side of caution. Thank you.
So, Honourable Member, back to you.
Yes.
This is a point of question.
Yes, I think that was what.
Point of order.
So that's why I'm saying that. You see, when you are setting precedences, right? So let's do a little bit of law.
Yes, please.
When you are setting precedences, right? You set precedences, one, in nuance, two, in context. Once the nuance is that you take the exact words within which the precedent occurs. You are settling internal issues of the executive committee, and it's not on the order paper. It means you are wasting the parliament's time. You are doing things that are out because the order paper is supposed to guide you. And so in context, in other context where you have that as an item on the order paper, so for example, item 6, executive committees are coming to settle their internal issues in parliament, and you accept the order paper at the beginning of the parliament, it means that there is an apportioned time for you to settle your internal issue in parliament. If that is done, then the context means that you can argue that out in parliament. With this order paper, you do not have that on the order paper. It means everything you are doing now is a wastage of the parliament's time, and that's why we don't have to waste time on this back and forth. So if you feel something was done wrong within the executive committee, you go and settle it out of the order paper of parliament. We get it. So the precedence is that once it's not on the order paper, you cannot waste the parliament's time to settle those things.
Please, are you signaling? Are you signaling? I didn't see your signal. Honourable Member.
The Speaker of the House.
Yeah.
I like the last statement the Chief Justice made, that anything not captured in the order paper should not come here and be deliberated on because it wastes our time. And I think we are not wasting time. We are just finding justifications to some of the issues here. But I would like it to be documented.
Documented as a precedence, or
yes,
I want to be sure.
So that it becomes a precedent.
A precedent is supposed to be voted for by the parliament.
Yes.
If you are,
that is what I'm
and please, then move a motion. That will be better, so that we can vote on that. I going to move a motion.
This thing should be any other business.
I going to move a motion that we do that. Honourable Member. Yes. So I believe we are moving on with the order of things. So, order in the House.
The Speaker of the House.
Yeah.
I think this motion I'm going to move was also not in the order paper. We've already raised.
Then please, let's wait to AOB. Thank you very much.
Okay, fine.
Yes. Vocational training. To liaise with the vocational training units of the school to ensure all matters pertaining to vocational training that directly or indirectly affect the student populace are properly handled. IT. To liaise with the IT directorate of the school to ensure that all matters pertaining to the information technology that directly or indirectly affect the students populace are properly handled. To ensure that parliamentary sittings, please, I think I've skipped one. To ensure that parliamentary sittings and all meetings occur smoothly in regards to devices to be used, such as projectors. To ensure adequate distribution of Vodafone SIMs and prompt tackling of issues with Vodafone SIM cards. So with this being done, I'll then move to call these individuals in front of the House. Please, if you hear your name, please move forward. And please, let's remember, the disciplinary committee head is supposed to be chosen from the parliament. I hope you know that. I hope you all read that part of the constitution. That the person is supposed to be a member of parliament. I hope you all read that so that we don't go back talking about constitutionality of things. I hope you all read that. Thank you very much. So with the first one, we have so we move to the entertainment committee. We have Patrick Brew. Please move forward. Editorial committee, Realist Fiona Anaman. Programs and projects, Solomon J. Boateng. Academic affairs, Alexander Asante. Arbitration, Suraj Ibn Mohammed. Finance, Patricia Bibune. Welfare, Hubert Amponsa. Student Affairs and Intelligence, Portia Usuwano, who I believe is not present here for some reasons, but I believe she should be here very soon. So we will move her to AOB, so when she comes, we approve that. Sports, Annette Duarte. Foreign Affairs and Exchange, Harris Ohine Nyako. Please, you have Harris here. Or did you move out? Yes, please. Health and Sanitation, Samuel Nana Edu. Sandwich Workers, Emmanuel Edu. Transports, we have Carl Mensah. Organizing Committee, Eric Edu Ado. Publicity, Rosemont Boate, who I believe is not present here. Is she here? Vocational Training, Mahmoud Konde Takpa, also not present. Please, is there a particular reason for that? We'll speak about it later. IT, Ibrahim Mazuka. Legal Advisor, Emmanuel Delali Fayose. Public Relations Officer, Kelvin Delali Azamati Mensah. Then, sorry, please, legal advisor, can you please take your seat? I think it's a different item on the paper. Sorry for that. So please, I think we will move. PRO, please sit down. We'll come to you later. You start from my right. So we start by mentioning your name, what you are here for, and why you think you should be voted in as a member of parliament, and also as the committee chair for the committee you have been nominated for. Thank you very much. Let's start. Please, we want to hear you well.
Committee chairperson.
Yeah, please. Do you have any questions for him? Members of the House. Members of the House. Do you have any questions as to action of his qualification?
Let some of them go to the back. Let some of them go to the
Please, those here should move here so that at least. Yes. Members of the House, so that I can see very well. No, please. He has mentioned his name and the portfolio he's here for. So per order, the House has to, just as you vetted me, you ask questions on his qualifications and all that. Please, is anyone asking any question on that? No, please, after we are done with that, then we go. Or we should mention all their names before we do that. Oh, please, we can do that if you want that. Oh, yeah. Yes, and I want to know if I am done with the committees, with the names. Yes, I'm done. With the list I have here, I think that's all. Please, if you have any issues, please raise it up. Yes. What information? Please mention your name.
Mr. Speaker of the House.
Yes, please.
We've had concerns with regards to, we didn't hear non-resident students.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, so non-resident students committee.
And audit as well.
I think with audits. Okay, sorry for that. Michael Apia Danso for non-residents. Audits to James Kojo Kun. Please, your name again, so I get it right. Kunye. Thank you very much. I think we are done. Do you have any other concerns? Members of the House. Please, do you have any other concerns? Okay, so please, do you have any questions for our nominated or less nominated? Yes. Honorable Agri. Okay. Please, I hope you hear what he said. Thank you very much.
As Intercom, my experience at the Innovation Quadrant GH, organize programs for the school, entertainment programs, and programs that will be educative, such as I'm also a member organize Twitter spaces for the student body and invite influencers who are to talk about entertainment and health education, and also organize our Islamic brothers and sisters, and in conjunction with the SCB, organize gospel rock shows for to help in their spiritual life, not only. I'm also here to.
Please ask permission, move out and have those discussions. Please, are we okay? Thank you very much. Continue.
I'm not only here for entertainment activities, but also to contribute towards parliamentary discourse. Thank you.
Another member, your name and who you are representing. Yeah.
Entertainment committee, all campuses. So we form a team there and communicate to them how they want their entertainment to be and organize programs for them. So since we're having a team there, everything will go smooth.
Please, any other questions? Please, I think we move on to the next individual. Miss Fiona Anaman. Welfare Committee. Yes. Point. Yes. Yeah.
My name.
Was there a point of order or point of correction?
Correction.
And please, this is part of the duties of the speaker. You can't call the speaker to order. You can only correct and give a point of information. Hope you are okay. Yes, please, because it will be in gross disrespect of the house, not the speaker, that this is done. Thank you very much.
I think to save ourselves, I think we all here are them. So we just. I think that's what they have. Consent.
Yes, so the Speaker of the House, I second to what Honorable Adoma has said. They should mention their names, and if any member of the House has any concern against each of them or any of them, it should be raised to save time. Thank you. Yes.
Please, then I think I'll be moving on. Miss Mayalis Fiona Anaman, Chair appointee. Then we move on to Mr. Solomon Ejay Watson. Programs, yes? Yes.
I think there is a correction to be. Miss Anaman's name, I think, was mentioned for editorial. Editorial.
I'm very sorry. Editorial. Yes. The next person will be Programs and Projects. Solomon Ejay Watson. For Academics Affairs, Elvis Asante. Please, can you raise up your hand? Yes. Elvis Asante Alexander. Yes. Then move on to, for Arbitration, Suraj Ibn Mohammed. Finance, Patricia Bugune. Please, I hope you're all seeing here. Welfare, Hubert Amponsan. Student Affairs and Intelligence, Portia, who's not present here, but I believe she'll come later. Judicial, which will be done later, okay. So, Sports Committee, we have MS Duarte. Any concerns? No concerns. Foreign Affairs and Exchange, Harris Oyinyapo. Any concerns? Health and Sanitation, Samonana Edu. Any concerns? Sandwich Workers, Emmanuel Edu. Any concerns? Organizing Committee, Eric Ado Edu. Any concerns? Transport, Kalmensa. Any concerns? Publicity, Kalmensa. Any concerns? Yes, please. Your concerns? Yeah. Yeah.
Currently, we have few buses working on campus. Hohoi has no shuttle system. He has been on campus for almost 3 years now.
More than 3 years?
No, almost.
More than. It's not almost or more than?
He's in his third year.
Then your
so
third year?
almost so almost 3 years
okay.
now. Yeah. And I want to know what he has done since he stayed on campus and what new he's going to do. Thank you.
Please, is it in line with the committee he's been nominated for? Because your question is ambiguous. That has he done 18 transports? That's the state team having that. If I want to be clear with you, I think that's what we are all getting, right? Or do you have, because that's what you're getting, right?
Yeah. So I mean his experience when it comes to transport,
okay.
And then what he wants to do new at the transport unit.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The House. My name is. Okay, sorry. The Speaker of the House. My name is Mensa Dujikal, an appointee for the Transport Committee. With regards to what he said, I have facilitated that. I've helped the outgone Transport Committee chair with a lot of transport work. That's during NUC's programs, during SRC programs. I helped the Transport Committee chair with such works. I also have helped my association, or probably my School of Basic and Biomedical Sciences, with transport. Certain days when we go to class, we close late and there is no transport. I call the Transport Committee chair, who contacts the transport, or let me say the shuttle system, that's the Ayalolo people, to help our students who are on campus, because we are the permanent site, for them to be able to be transported back to their various hostels. Also, with regards to a problem that we are facing right now, that I've spoken to the outgone transport chair about, I've called him about 2 or 3 times to complain about buses not being sufficient on campus, because for this semester, mostly close to about 300 or 400 students walk back to their hostels. That's Jimfuga, Alex Day, and the town. And I've complained to him, and he has told me and assured me that there are buses on their way, which are still not yet in. That I think when I'm elected into power, with the help of the federal executives and the province executives, we might bring that, or we must facilitate in liaison with the school transport unit to introduce new buses. And for the School of Public Health, with what I have learned was first years have, like normal UHAS, first years you'll be given a hostel. But with the continuing students, there is no hostel. So you get a hostel or a private hostel where the distance to their campus is really long. Some have a problem about that. But because I am now coming to power and I am not on the school of I'm not at the School of Public Health. With the help of the federal executives and the province executives at the School of Public Health, we would try to speak to the shuttle system that works in whole campus, where they would also help in transporting students at Hohoi campus to their lecture grounds and back to their rooms or hostels where they live. Thank you.
Yvette Akusia Yeboah, Hohoi Provincial Wuko. I'm casting my eyes through the committee heads they have elected or they have appointed. I want to believe it's just Hohoi Province, please. You, and then thank you. How, this is to the House. 3 out of how many people? 22. May I proceed? Yes, right, thank you. We agree that it's just a single school, and we don't have much of facilities that would make us a complete school like the main campus. But just province, SPH, School of Public Health. No. You are saying 7 schools means you have other schools. We are just a single. All right, just exclude the fact that I said it doesn't make us a school, and base your argument on just a single school. Good. How would you feel, right? How would the house feel if we bring, this is why we're thriving for the concerns. Province, I wasn't aware. Were you aware? We were not aware. So we get here and it's like we are just coming to observe, excuse my words, observe. Because out of 3, they say we would help. We've been hearing that for the past, level 300, for the past 3 years. And it's still the same. Are you telling me that when you are being elected or when you are on seat, you would leave here, come to Howe and look for a bus for us to convey us from, and it comes across to all, Howe excluded. The whole, it's sometimes you make us feel, excuse my words, less of an institution. Because we come here and it's like, SPH, we don't know what we are doing. Like we are following the majority. We feel really terrible about it. And if something can be done, we would really appreciate it. Thank you.
I am being appointed as a committee chair, meaning I'll have committee members. Definitely, committee members will consult people, will have people from School of Public Health. So through them, as means, will help facilitate such problems that are raised over here.
Let's get our emotions in check. Let's get our emotions in check. Honorable member, let's get our emotions in check. Please. We are all trying to help the school here. Let's get our emotions in check. Thank you very much. Please, to the next person. Last person. Please, you really use the intervention sign. Sorry.
Please, I would like to know the name of the new transport minister and when he was inducted into office. His current affairs. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. This is UHAS SRC, which the national transport doesn't affect us in any of our doings. So, and please, I honestly speaking, I don't know the name. It's general knowledge. I don't know the name of the.
Yeah. Please, the Speaker of the House. Honorable Council said it doesn't affect us, but when they increase petrol, it is going to affect us. So if he doesn't know,
Thank you for your enlightenment.
Point of correction, honorable member. The microphone, please.
Speaker of the House, Federal SRC President. Minister for Transport and Routes does not handle petroleum prices. So I'd like to correct honorable member on that.
Point of order. Please, a point of order overrides a point of correction.
So I believe all this banter is not important, but practically, I think I disagree with what Mr. President said, because if you are going to broker transport deals for UHAS, you need to enter places. So if you know the Minister of Minister for Transport, you can do something for the transport of UHAS. Okay. So even though it's a relevant question, I think it's not important. So let's just.
Thank you very much. Please, do you have any concerns? Any other concerns? To the next person. That was Carl, right? Yes. Organizing committee, we have Eric Edu Ado. Any concerns? I think we don't have another member. We don't have Usman Boate here. I think when she comes later, we will swear her in. And approve and swear her in. Vocational training, Mahmoud Kondi Takpa. Absent. IT, Ibrahim Mazuka. Please, did I mention your name? And please, we have James Kune. Did I mention your name? Thank you very much. So we have James Kojo Kunye. Here you are. Michael Apiadanso for non-residents. Please, we would like all of you to move out so that the House votes on that. Please, you have an EC rep here. Yes, so they have to move out so that we vote on them one by one. Okay, we vote on them one by one. What information? Yes, please, and I believe that for the sake of privacy and time, please, do you have any? Yes.
I think voting, we have different reasons. I suggest we do by
Yeah, but we do but they will have to move out. That's common practice, that they move out for us to vote. Or please, does the House suggest?
Let them come in 1-1.
Yes, does the House suggest that we do that? Please, all of you move out. We have Michael Apiadanso staying behind so that we vote on him. Please, let us move out. Thank you very much. We're calling you one by one, so please, going to listen. Around the House. What information? Yeah.
That to save time, okay, so we mentioned the chairpersons in the parliament
Okay. Okay, so I think you should move out so that we do that. Thank you. So I think we would have to start. Maria, can I get a pen? When I'm done, you go by it. What information? Yeah. Yes, please. I think after the voting, you can call or move a motion to suspend this meeting for now. So we go out and have our lunch. Then we come back and continue the business of the House. Thank you very much. So for non-residents, we have Michael Danso. Those in favor of his appointment, say yeah. Michael Apiadanso, that's why I wanted him to stand here. But another member decided, should he be here? Please call another member. You don't have their picture. ask that there's a division of the votes. It will be done again. In situations where you are still not satisfied with that, the House will go back to the other ways of voting, which are normal votes, like, yes, everybody understand? Yes. Yes. Yes.
So
that's why I'm saying that there's a nay. So if you say nay and you don't agree with that, you move for division of the votes. That's the practice of the House. So please, honourable members, please, let's be careful so that, please, let's not interfere in the duties of the House. Yes, please, there are other ways of voting. That's what I suggested earlier. Please, please, I'm coming. Honourable member, Etienne. Yeah.
Continue with the voting process so that we can still use the yeah and the no. With them not interfering with the yeah or the no.
Okay, so I believe you have to move a motion for that. For the correction. Please, are you correcting what you said? Yeah.
Since they are observing, they also have a chance to also observe voting. So we should rather change the style of voting than sending them out.
Please, do you agree to that? So, what do you suggest? That we use the normal way used for the speaker? Also, head count. Yes, I believe we're using the head count. Another member. Head count. Okay. Thank you very much. So moving on to Audit Committee, James Kojo Kunye. Those in favor of his appointment as the Audit Committee Chair, please raise your hand. EC, please help us with that. Please, those against, please put your hand down. Those against, please can you raise your hands up? Please, any abstentions? Please, therefore the House approves the appointment of James Kojo Kunye as the Audit Committee Chair. Please, you may move out and call Patrick Brew for us. Please tell them to hurry up, okay? Point of information. Yeah, is that okay with us? Yes, please. Please, I hope you've seen his face. Please, move out for us, okay? Yes. Please, those in favor of the appointment of Patrick Brew as the Entertainment Committee Chair, please raise your hand. How many votes? Please, she has to write them, so. 14 votes. Please, those voting against. 1. Those are abstaining. Let's go. So, yes, 14. 2 abstentions. 3 abstentions. Sorry, so I rule again. The House therefore approves the appointment of Patrick Brew as the Entertainment Committee Chair. Fiona Miralis Anaman. Please, can you help us with that? Thank you very much. Please, I hope we've all seen it. Please, can you exit the house for us? Please, those in favor of the appointment of Miralis Fiona Anaman, please raise your hands up. Please, are you voting? Those against? Abstentions? Abstentions 3. The House therefore approves the appointment of Miralis Fiona Anaman as editorial committee head. Solomon Eje Boating, programs and projects committee chairperson appointee. I hope we can see him. Please move out for us. Those in support of his appointment as Programs and Projects Committee Chair, please raise your hands up. Those against? How many? 4. The majority has it. And abstentions? Abstentions 9. And please, let's take note. The approval of the appointment is by simple majority, not by 2/3. So please, if you want to go against it, go no, so that we can move on with the business of the House. Thank you very much. Arbitration. Suraj Ibn Mohammed. Please, I hope you all can see him. Please move up for us. Please, those for the approval of the appointment of Suraj Ibn Mohammed as Arbitrations Committee Chair, please indicate by the raise of hand. Those against? The majority has it. The House therefore approves Suraj Ibn Mohammed as Arbitration Committee Chairperson. Elvis Alexander Asante, Academic Affairs, sorry. Please come over for us. Honorable members, for the acceptance of Elvis Alexander Asante as Academic Affairs Committee Chair, should do so by show of hands. Those against? 6 abstentions. The majority has it. Elvis Alexander Asante has therefore been approved as appointee. sorry, approved as chairperson for academic affairs. For finance, Patricia Bubune. Please tell her to hurry up so that we can move on to the other business of the house. Please, I hope we cannot see here. Those four, please, you can move back for us. Those for the approval of Ms. Patricia Bubune as Finance Committee Chair can do so by the show of hands. Nine. Those against? Abstentions? 9. The majority has it. The House therefore approves the appointment of Patricia Bubune as the Finance Committee Chair. Welfare, Hubert Amponsa. Please move out for us. Thank you. Those for the acceptance of the appointment of Master Hubert Amponsa as Welfare Committee Chair can do so by the show of hands. Please let's hurry up. I can see most of us are hungry. Those against? Please, I count it. Sorry. Those for? Those against? The majority has it. Student Affairs and Intelligence. She's not around now. I think she'll come later. Sports. NS Duarte. Sports, NS Duarte. Please hurry up for us. Please, can move up for us. I hope we've all seen him. Those for the acceptance of the appointment of NS Duarte as Sports Committee Chair, please do so by the show of hands. Those against? How am I against? The majority has it. Harris Ohinyako, Foreign Affairs and Exchange Committee Chair, appointee. Yes, please. An exchange. Please, I hope we've all seen him. Members of the House. Please, you can move out. Thank you. Please, those for the acceptance of the appointment of Harris Ohinyako as the chairperson for the Foreign Affairs and Exchange Committee, please do so by the show of hands. I know you're tired. You finish right now, okay? Those for? Those against? The majority has it. Health and Sanitation, Samuel Nana Edu. Please, I hope we cannot see him. Please move out. Thank you very much. Those for the acceptance of the appointment of Samuel Nana Edu as the chairperson for the Health and Sanitation Committee, please do so by the show of hands. Please, those against? Abstentions? Majority has it. Workers Emmanuel Edu, Sandwich Committee Chair. He's not present. Kaumensa, Transport Committee Chair appointee. Please hurry up. Please look at them. Please come over for us. Thank you. Those in favor of the acceptance of Kaumensa as the Transport Committee Chair, please do so by the raise of hands. Those against? Majority has it. Organizing Committee, Eric Eidu. Organizing Committee. Please hurry up for us, Key. Hurry up. Please, I hope we cannot see him. Thank you very much. Please, those in favor of the acceptance of the appointment of Eric Edu Ado as the chairperson for the organizing committee, please do so by the raise of hands. Those against? Abstentions? The majority has it. Vocational training, Mahmoud is not present here. IT, Ibrahim Mazuka. Hello? Please, we don't go through. Thank you very much. You can move us for us. So please, those in favor of the acceptance of Madam Ibrahim Mazuka as the IT committee chair, please do so by the raise of hands. Easy. Those against? Abstentions? 8. The majority has it. So for now, I think the House is left to decide on Ms. Portia Owusu-Ano, who is not here, Mr. Mahmoud Kwandetapa, who is also not here, and who did I miss? I think that's all. So the House therefore approves the acceptance of these members as members of this August House. Please, they can come inside so that they are sworn in. CJ, please do us the honor. And please, I can see we are all tired. After that, a motion can be moved that this House is suspended for a couple of hours or minutes. Hours or minutes. Hours or minutes. Hours or minutes, so that we can all rest. Thank you very much. Please come here.
I hereby wholly dedicate myself.
And that I hereby wholly dedicate myself.
The service and welfare.
The service and welfare.
Of the students of the University of Health and Allied Sciences. I further solemnly swear. That I shall not. Be found wanting. In the discharge of responsibility. As. Of the SRC. Nor place myself. In such a position. As to frustrate the efficient function of the SRC. So help me God. You ask for me.
Please guys sit down. What's the question?
Speaker of the House.
Yeah.
I don't think it's constitutional, but personally, that after they have been accepted, there is a little word of advice that comes from some members and then the president will figure out a
Okay. Yes. Yeah, and please, I can see I heard the response that most people had when you raised up your hand. You can see most of us are tired. So I prefer that we do that anyway. We do that. But we go on recess. Then after recess, we do that. Would that be okay with you? Please, are we going on with the...
I don't want you to have the perception that any of the leaders here is against your appointment. None of us is against our appointment. We are only making sure we follow the rules. Thank you.
Madam Member.
Speaker of the House.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Make decisions that are relevant to the advancement of the place. So, congratulations. We are happy to have you part of our. Thank you.
Please, are you done? Members. Thank you very much. Please, as it stands now, someone can move for the House to go on recess. Please, is anyone moving a motion? Mr. President.
I would like to for the House for a period of
30 minutes. A seconder. Yes. So you're going to vote on that. Those in favor of the house going on recess for 30 minutes, say yeah. Yeah. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. The house goes on recess. And please, what's the time? And we'll be back 2:46. That's exactly. Please help me with that. 3:16. House of SS.